It's great to have you here. We have now a long cooperation, and it started with the play of Eurocipher, The End of the World. Can you say something about you and your access to this play, and what are you doing as actress, as a university teacher?
Thank you, Herbert, for this opportunity to be here and talk about, I think, a very important play for us today. And I'm Olha Kryvosheieva. I'm from Kharkiv. I'm a teacher from Kharkiv National University of Arts and actress. But now I'm in Berlin because it's a war happened, and today I'm working Ernst Busch Academy of Art, like guest professor. I have some Ukrainian team here, and I work like actress in Berlin Theatre Wheels and Urban Theatre. It's great that I have opportunity to continue my work, my art here, and I have cooperation with you. Thank you for this. And I it's happy for me that I met you when I met Eurozopher in Kharkiv and opened for me this author. Because in Kharkiv it's not often used Eurozopher, and I didn't listen about him before. And for me it was really something special because he was born in Kharkiv, in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, and I was very interested. And I worked with at that moment the director who worked in Kharkiv University of Art, and I was in a part of the teachers team and worked with the Meisterna 55 is the name of the course which we worked that time. And he brought this play and showed me, and I was very interested. And we started to develop this play and work and thinking how it's relevant, because for me it was not so relevant like for him. And I all time had this question: why we need to work with this play? What's its give for our students? What we can message we can to give the audience? And this play in my life had three interpretations. The first, it was like cooperation with Berlin Theatre Wheels and directly in Hamburg. Wheels found there in students from Knappnagel. There are some stage and collected some students from Hamburg. And we had the money and an opportunity to create and be like a part of big festival. And there are a lot together Kharkiv students and Hamburg students, like 50 students. It's a lot of. And we need to adapt this text in the script. We cannot use it, and we use a lot of dance songs and some plastic language because it's difficult. We try to understand how it can work when we have a lot of students. But for us, it was important to not only gave some our ideas and but work with students and asked them what they thinking, what is important for them, because the theme of play it was important at that time because we had already this war in East. War, it was not like really war. We cannot say this word because not was like official war. We cannot understand what happened in the East, but very near. It sometimes was some provocation, and its atmosphere, it was dangerous, and we talk about it, but it was not so relevant. And it was like the end of this play, like very the end of the play of Eurozoifers, about love, about hope. And we and that moment we was about love and about hope. And situation was changing, and after this big cooperation with Bill Theatre, with this project, Leonid Sadovsky started to develop this play only with group from Kharkiv, Masterna 55. It was around like 25 students. It's not a lot. And we can work with text more precisely, not like only and talk about a lot of different things and politics, in cooperation with people, with countries, about love, what happens in the world, what students thinking about it. And it's interesting that Leonid Sadovsky, he was a director, and he decided that, okay, the end of the text of the script is very romantic for today time, and he changed it. And he created that the condition, circumstances, it's not very positive, but it's totally not positive. And the end of the performance, the students which played in this performance just died in gas chamber. That's really a strong end, and for audience was shocked. And he developed this text and little bit adapted and use new character. It like man, like policeman, something like this, who all time went to the stage in some moment and talk with audience about situation in the world, about it was some provocation text, but what you thinking? Can you influence for this or not? It was important because it was not about this fourth wall between actors and audience, all time interaction, cooperation. And we won't be that audience felt that and feel that it's important. And audience, like people around in a country, in a village, can influence the situation in the world. It's not about only somebody in high, some politics can change something, not. It was important for us, and we use live music. Students try to learn how to play saxophone, accordion, and create this live atmosphere. For me, this plays about when we talk about future, yes, it's this end about love and hope. But we change because atmosphere of the I think it's like a paradox little bit, because atmosphere was not so bad in that moment. And Leonid want to show that the atmosphere situation, the country can be changed in a worse way. And we need to do something. He just like feel that it can happen something worse, like not only east of the Ukraine can be occupied and there are war, but all Ukraine, but all world. I think that like genius director who feel that it's relevance play. We need to talk about it. We need influence for audience, because theater and art is about it. To show the modern world what happened, and like this scale, more scale. That this question, it was important. If I can talk about third interpretation, it's interesting because it's third interpretation happened after the war, when I moved in Berlin and started to work with Ukrainian students in Ernst Busch University. And I had this opportunity. I'm very happy that I work with students from Deutsch students from Germany who studied in this university. And we collected students from Ukraine, students from Germany, and talk about the end of the world. And we show people, look, it's a very great play, we can use it, and now it's very important. It's about some paradox. It's interesting that it's this situation we don't change anything, and now it was very relevant for me, because we cannot change anything because it's atmosphere around, it's a war. And do this something more strong or some change. It's we don't need it. We opposite. We need this love and hope in the end. We need it, and we understand that it's not romantic now, and that people now it's a main thing that people today want to feel inside, because it's a lot of hate around and emotion inside the people, and they try to find this possibility to express it. And art is the most ecological, not toxic place that can just cry, thinking, just relax a little bit, and stress go on. And it was very important for students because they just started to their professional work in it's a new place for them. I talk about totally, but about Ukrainian group, because cooperation, because Germany students they know about the history of the Second World War, and they had some expression and understanding, but including only their war. But now we have another war in Ukraine, and for our students, it was very emotional and important. It's like art therapy a little bit, and for students and for audience. And it's so interesting to understand now that it's I live with the play The End of the World, like from 2018. Now it's like 6 years, and how it changed. And now it's really changed from when it was more light time, we created more worse, bad, heavy end of this play adapted change. And now when the time is very hard, we understand we not to change anything. We need to love, we need to hope.
Great interpretation. So we have this change in approach to the culture in the 19th century. You have the play of Friedrich Schiller, Wallenstein, and there we have the mercenaries. They go to the war on the side who has money. Then the 19th century came, and a new way of warfare came. Important was culture as a weapon and a war. And this changed totally the libraries, the usage of languages, and so on. Interesting for me was that you had, with this first interpretation of the end of the war, access to a different place, the end of the world, because there were different languages. You had them in German, in Ukraine, in Russian, in English. And how did you deal with these different languages?
A lot of students know English, and just it's like was a based language for communication, not only inside the performance but outside, because we need to find some opportunity to understand each other and create something. It was not difficult, but inside in the play, yeah, we in the first our interpretation, I talked that about 50 students, and we used English more and body language, song and music. And important said that all time or all of this interpretation, music is like language too, and the body is language too. We not talk about only word, because we know that people understand each other more, not only it's like word, it's like 10%, but another it's how we use it, all this our systems. movement, and it was I think sad now that we have more language, music, movement, and yeah, sometimes we use Ukrainian language when we have something between Ukrainian people. It was for us and not difficult because we want to when we talk about the end of the world, and this we have this word, and it's great when we collect it like different language from other all over the world. And there are some people from a student from Italia, and it was interesting sometimes use some short word. And the second interpretation was difficult for students because Lenin Sadovsky wanted that they used French and tried to learn it when appeared different political and French, English, Deutsch. It was here in performance, not only music. We really work with text, and students try to catch this melody, intonation, and work with it, and it was not bad. And song was not only English but in Deutsch, because but we played only in Ukraine, but we use more language that another interpretation. It was interesting. Than the Kharkiv, we just want to save the structure and did this more scale, open people the world. We not only talk about Ukraine, we talk about Europe. There are a lot of languages, and we use it now. We talk about and there are America too, and this and more like big scale, and we can influence like a part of a big planet, but we very important part. And certain interpretation, we used Deutsch and English and sometimes Ukrainian language. Yes. Yeah, for me it's more difficult and interesting work with languages was second interpretation, when it was very difficult to learn not only instruments, how to play new instruments, but how to deal with new languages.
You have knowledge of different languages. You have knowledge of actress. You have knowledge as a teacher. But very important to understand your cipher is also that you have knowledge of music. And Ahmed Kronis said that your cipher symposium in November 2023, the text of your cipher, the fourth music. There is the rhythm and so on within. So when you talk about music and different languages, which was the basis for this music?
Music, I think I talk about second interpretation.
Yes.
About the base, we used original note and but created a text, new text, and our students created it. For us, for students, it was not easy task all time when we said, okay, we need to learn these languages, blah, 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 blah. We need to learn music language and create some text. You have these notes, please learn it, but create something new, because we need to adapt it for not adapt like change something, but adapt it and feel it not only brain but all body, all our system, actor system. I talk about how it works sometimes, and that students need to understand that, okay, it's work with me, I understand it, I can work with this music. It was not easy, because some of students play in instruments and cannot very quickly to understand how it's work and cooperate all together. But some students want to know and learn something new and try, and the end of our performance we can to do it. But not all performance. Sometimes we use a record music, but sometimes it was live with accordion, and we try to use what Eurozoifer proposed, how it can be. It's safe, his idea, but sometimes at our feeling of this music, like language.
Great. So there was some cooperation since 6 years, and now we have plans for the future. There will be a conference from 15th to 17th April about Austria and globalization. We will have the 33 Cypher Symposium in November. Upcoming year, we have the project, the Iron Age. So you have your own not easy position in Berlin as a fugitive. Which will be your input in the upcoming projects?
I'm happy that I'm part, because it's really it's for me about future, for my future, for my professional future, about love, about hope, that I can to work now with different languages and translate a poem and find in this poem a melody, because it's not about, when we talk about language, I all time talk about some different last different line, how we feel it. It's not about only, okay, I work with text, I translate, but it's about what I feel when I translate, what's emotional, what the author want to say, the people, how I can change, how I can work with it. For me, it's very important to start this some new, for me, like you said someday, that like I'm a pioneer. Yes, it's true, in this way. And Eurozoifer, it's today is very important. Like for me, he's a young man with hope, love, and he lived in a terrible time, and I think he felt different emotion, but all time I feel that yes, this man, this guy, this artist about love and hope. And today I think I want to put in all my input in Eurozoifer society this part of my love and hope, because now it's very important for everybody feel it, because another atmosphere, we understand what happened today, and we need to like find and help to save how to balance, and try to create this balance inside and outside. Thank you, Herbert, for this opportunity.
I thank you. It's great that you're participating and giving us access to a word which is also very important for us. So thank you very much for this conversation, and I'm looking forward to further cooperation in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.